Hello and welcome to Purpose Path Coaching with Ruth Woods. I am so glad you decided to click on to my channel. I wanted to talk to you about why purpose. Why purpose? Why did I decide to help people find their purpose, and why is this so important to me? Well, back when I was in the 8th grade, someone killed my dream and left me with having no purpose. And I didn't realize until much later in life how important it is to have purpose and to be able to find your purpose. So let's talk a little. Okay? Are you here with me? Are you here for the chat? Okay. So back when I was in the 8th grade, I was going to school. Well, I'm from New York. I'm from Jamaica, Queens, New York. And I was going to ISA, okay, which is known as Richard S. Crossley Junior High School. And it was time for graduation. It was time to pick your high school. And if you go to school in New York, when it's time to go to high school, you can go to school pretty much anywhere as long as your address is in the zone. Meaning, for instance, you can end up in Brooklyn, you can end up in Manhattan. It's just that your house has to be in that zone. So there was a school in Queens that I wanted to go to, which was Hillcrest High School, and they had a nursing program. I always wanted to be a nurse. And I was told I couldn't be a nurse. The great advisor, I can't remember her name. I remember what she looks like though. But I was told that I couldn't be a nurse, and the reason why was because she said, you can't be a nurse because you can't do the math. Which I was poor in math, okay? We not gonna lie. I was sucked at math, okay? I couldn't learn how to do the doggone timetables. That was a challenge. I didn't do algebra. When we got to algebra, that was like, it was already bad with numbers, and now we want to add letters. Yeah, math was just not my cup of tea. So when she told me that, it was like, oh, I can't be a nurse. So I guess I'm not going to be anything, because I didn't go to a school where we had people coming in and doing what they do, those career days, okay? There was no one ever, never, ever did I ever have anyone come to any school that I went to and do a career day. So you had options. You knew that there was things out there that you could be. Social worker that I am now, yeah, I knew about social workers because my mom was a foster mother, but I only saw white women coming to the house, and the people who I saw was not anything that I wanted to be, okay? I didn't know that there was so much more to being a social worker, okay? Let's just throw that in there. So I was like, oh, well, okay, I got into this school, got into Martin Van Buren High School, got to school, went to high school, messed around the first year, bombed out pretty much. Only got 2 credits. You need 6 credits to go to the 10th grade. 10th grade is when I decided, hey, you know what? I got to get out of this school, so I need to figure out how this game is played. And let's do this thing, okay? And truth be told, I didn't really feel as smart as the other kids. Even though all my life I heard and was told she's bright. She's just not working to her potential. But in my head, I'm going, but I am working to my potential. This is the best that I can do. So, but I got out, even though I did have to go to summer school to take the math test after I graduated. Those of you, I don't know, each state has their own thing. I live in Virginia now. In Virginia, we have the SOLs, which is the standard of learning, and you have to pass the writing. It's writing, reading, and math. And they also have like biology and some other courses, but I don't know that you have to pass those to get out of school. But in New York, you had to basically pass the reading, writing, and math, arithmetic. And so I had to go to summer school to pass the arithmetic. Don't know how I passed, but I did. Okay, but fast forward, I'm graduating high school. My GPA was so that my mother was like, you need to bury that transcript in the Dead Sea. And I'm like, yeah. What am I going to be? So in my head, I'm going to be a wife and I'm going to be a mother. I did have a boyfriend who I was madly in love with, who is now my husband for 41 years. Okay. I don't even know that he had a purpose. He was even thinking, and he has his own story. And yeah. And so, but my mother was like, hey, you got to go to school. You got to go to school or you got to go to work. I was scared of the working world. Didn't know what I could do. Couldn't even get a job at McDonald's because I couldn't do the math. Because back then you had to take a manual math test. You know, they used to give you math tests. And I did apply one time. I didn't get the job at McDonald's. So I was really like, what I'm going to do? One job I had at the bank counting bonds, it was a temporary job and I didn't keep that very long. I did have a job doing something else at this fire extinguisher company just before I got married. That was a temporary job, but it was whatever. What am I going to do with myself? I didn't know what to do. What could I do? What is my purpose? Why am I here on earth? Am I just here to be a mother, a wife and a mother? Okay, I did end up having a kid. Let's not move ahead of myself. So when my mom gave me the ultimatum, either you're going to go to school or you're going to go to work, there was a program called SEEK, which the city colleges, CCNY of New York, City Colleges of New York had this program back then, where you could get into college. It was like through a backdoor program, and it was designed for people who were not ready for college, right? To prepare them to be ready for college, who were possibly college material, but they needed help preparing them for college work. I was able to get into school, and I was doing kind of okay. But I did have a teacher who saw something in me that I didn't see. And it was my sociology teacher. She was like, it was remedial sociology. And she failed me because she said, Ruth, you're not like the rest of the kids in this class, or whatever that meant. She said, so, you're really bright, but you're not putting it on paper. When you speak, you articulate it, but you're not putting it on paper. So I'm going to let you take this class over. And those classes, when you take these remedial classes in colleges, they don't fail you. You just get an R. You get a repeat. So it doesn't affect your GPA. Okay. Anyway, I did that. I ended up, after I got married, not really opening books, whatever, because I'm in love. Messed around, lost some of my financial aid. And then ended up with a default student loan and stuff like that. And took forever to take care of those things to get it to the point where I could get back in school, and owe the school some money. But I did get back in school in 2013. Not 2013, 2003. After working in other places, working as a teacher assistant in the pre-K, someone saw something in me and they're like, she's really good at what she does. And I had a couple of jobs as a teacher assistant, preschool teacher assistant. I did have college credits, but they didn't have the transcript because I couldn't get the transcript. So that was holding me stuck. I was stuck. I was kind of like the chokehold on me. But I moved down here, and when I did go to work, I went to work at Christian Broadcasting Network, and I was on the phone as a prayer counselor. And I was doing well, and then when we got the computers and we had to learn the computers, and I did well with that, And I realized, hey, Ruthie, you're not a dummy. Like, what's the problem? But I didn't have a purpose. I didn't know I had a purpose, but I didn't know what my purpose was. Right? I didn't know what my purpose was. And I'm like, I can do more than this. I know I'm smart. I can do more than this. I always felt like I was smart, but didn't know I was smart. Okay? And didn't know what I was supposed to be doing. Which does make you depressed, and it makes you feel worthless. And finally, something happened that changed the trajectory of my life. And I took care of all of my my responsibilities to remove the blockages so that I could get back to school. And I went back to school. I fought that little Achilles heel thing I had with the math. Okay, and that was not easy, but I did it because anything worth having is worth fighting. And I graduated from Tidewater Community College with honors. I did, with honors. I was also Phi Theta Kappa, which was it's a 2-year honor society, 2-year college honor society. Then I went to Old Dominion University and I graduated with honors cum laude. Yes, I did. And then I went to Norfolk State and graduated with my master's in social work. And here I am now as a licensed clinical social worker and a coach. And I realized how important it is to know your purpose. So even when I went back to school, I was going to be a teacher, because that was the other choice, be a teacher. But somewhere along the line, I decided, you know what? I'm going to be a therapist. And it was one day I was working, doing my internship, and I had a session. And after the session and the person had left, I had tears, and I realized this is what I'm supposed to be doing. I'm supposed to be helping people. Now, wait. Mind you, my husband and I were in ministry in 2000, and we started ministry in 1998. In 1998 to 2000 and about 2009, I want to say, we were in ministry. And we were helping people. We've always helped people. I'm a preacher's kid. My dad was a pastor. We've always helped people, which is what I do. Which is my purpose on this earth, is to help people. But I didn't know it. So even in this role, in my job, which is not the job, it's what I do, is helping people. But I had to tap into that. Years ago, when I was going to church in New York, he's now Archbishop Rochford. He's my bishop still to this day. He preached a message one Sunday, and he said the reason why you're depressed is because you're not doing what you're supposed to be doing, what you were put on this earth to do. So my question to you is, what are you supposed to be doing? What are you supposed to be doing? You feel unfulfilled. Some people are in therapy, and they're going to therapy, and where they're working through all the steps. They might even be on medication, which we should be taking medication, but they still feel unfulfilled because they're not doing what they're supposed to be doing. They haven't figured out that they need to tap into what it is that they're put on this earth to do. And that's what I'm here to do now, is to help people figure out what is it that they're supposed to be, what is it they're supposed to do. Because some things is not always clinical. Some things are, it's a little different. You know, it's a coaching thing. It's like I gotta coach you to help you figure this thing out. We need to come into alignment with our God-given purpose on this earth. We need to align with our values, our systems. Okay, this is how God created me. He created me this way for a reason. He made me this way so that I can do X, Y, Z. And when I'm doing X, Y, Z, I'm happy. When I do X, Y, Z, I'm fulfilled. So, my question to you today is, are you walking in purpose? What is it that happened way back when that caused you to be derailed? It tried to derail you, because that lady tried to derail me. Because even as a nurse, that's helping people. See, I had the desire to help people. But I probably wouldn't have made it as a nurse, because when I got older and I realized the stuff that nurses had to see and do, yeah, I probably wasn't cut out to be a nurse. Okay, I probably just wanted to stick people with needles. But this is more suited to me. And this is what I'm supposed to be doing. Okay? Even as a therapist, yeah, I love sitting with people and helping people problem solve and think. But it goes beyond that, because there's stuff that I do as a therapist, that in the role of a therapist, that anybody can do. You don't have to be a therapist to do, because it's about helping people. It's about having empathy. Empathy is a value. So, what are your values? What are the values that you need to come into alignment with? And how can I help you? So, we start out with a mini course, depending on when you see this, because right now you're seeing this. If you're seeing this in 2026, in February of 2026, the course is getting ready to launch, and we're going to start with a mini course. We're going to start with a mini course, a free mini course, which will be launching on March 1st. And it's 4 modules that you will be able to view, and you have the option of purchasing the workbook for deeper work. So ask yourself, am I ready to do purpose work? Am I ready to look to see what do I need to do to align with purpose in my life? And if so, reach out to me. Click on the link in the bio. Bye now. Be blessed.